There are two things that are guaranteed in life: death and taxes. So it's really important that when you go, the government doesn't get to decide what happens to your stuff. Welcome to Entree Real Estate, where we turn the complexities of real estate into clear, actionable steps for building generational wealth. I've invested into different types of real estate all over the United States, and I run a thriving real estate fund. Join me as we document the entrepreneurial journey of scaling businesses and transforming the lives of tens of thousands of people around the world. Let's turn your real estate dreams into reality. Buckle up, because this is the start of something truly incredible. My name is Devin Robinson, and welcome to Entree Real Estate. What's up, everyone? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're diving into the topic that doesn't always make the highlight reel, but it's really, really important. We're talking about trusts and wills. I know. It doesn't sound like it could be the best topic, and it sounds like it'd be a little bit dry, honestly, but stick with me. I promise I'm going to try to make this as entertaining as possible. There are two things that are guaranteed in life: death and taxes. So it's really important that when you go, the government doesn't get to decide what happens to your stuff. So unless you're set up correctly, they will decide. And you don't want to leave the decision of where your stuff goes, your cars, your houses, your money, to the government and to the state. When it comes to wills and trusts, these two are not synonymous. But at the same time, it's not an or, it's an and. It's really important that you do both. You need both to be fully protected. A will explains the wishes that you have at the end of your life. A trust is the vehicle that you use to carry out those wishes laid out in the will. So when it comes to estate planning, you can think of it as building a house. Now, there's really three main parts of it. So you have the house that's built, and that's the estate. That's part one. You have the will, which is a basic blueprint. That's part three. But then you have the full built out process with architectural plans, with the furniture, all of that stuff, the full custom design. That's part three, which is your trust. And we'll talk about that in a second. So the blueprint, which is the basic part, it says who gets what room, who gets the furniture, so on and so forth. The problem is, before anyone can move in, this blueprint or your will has to be approved by a team of building inspectors known as probate court. This approval process can be lengthy and very expensive. Not to mention, it's also a really public thing. Anybody can go down to the county and pull your probate information. Anyone can stroll to the courthouse, see the blueprint of the house. Now, let's say you're building a dream house. You don't want to have a simple floor plan. You want specifics. You want to have the full control over it. You want the privacy of knowing what's going on inside of it and nobody else to know. You want to avoid delays. That's where the trust comes in. A trust is like having an architect design your house with precise instructions for everything, from the type of lighting fixtures to the color on the walls. With the trust, you can specify exactly how you want your assets to be divvied out to everyone. You want your daughter to have the funds for college at age 18? You can specify that. You want your son to have the money to start a business when he turns 25? You can arrange that too. It's really, really easy. The trust lets you avoid building inspectors entirely. No probate court, which we have seen play out in really, really tough ways. We've seen some families split, and we've seen some really big issues come about by letting the government decide on what happens to your stuff. The people you've chosen can move right in with no probate. The people you've chosen can decide exactly what happens to the estate. There's no need for probate court. This means less red tape, more privacy, and a quicker distribution of your assets. The common misconception is that if you have a will, you're good to go. But this isn't true. Even if you have a will, the property will still go through probate. Now, according to the will, the courts will decide on how things are divvied up. But we've seen issues where the will was lost in the mail. Literally, the will was lost in the mail. Probate needs an original copy of the will. We only had copies of it. And so that will didn't apply. We had to go and jump through a whole bunch of hoops just to try to get the will verified, even though we had a copy of the notary and everything. So the trust will allow to make that a lot easier, but it's also not cheap, right? Wills are cheap. You can get a will for $200 or $300, but because the attorney knows that you'll come back years later to collect the rest of that when you open up an estate, when somebody passes. And that literally could take anywhere from 9 months to years and tens of thousands of dollars. We've seen estates spend $40,000 or $50,000 because you have combative family members that want to combat against what you think should happen to it, even though you may be the son or daughter. And so there's so many things that could happen that would make this way more expensive than it needs to be. This is why it's important. Just as you wouldn't build a house without professional help, you shouldn't navigate estate planning alone. It's crucial to seek professional advice tailored to your situation, because you don't know what state you're in. Some states are better to die in than others. It's like the probate process is a lot longer. There's just a lot more that it can entail. You could get an irrevocable trust or a revocable trust. You could put all of your assets in. It just depends on how much you want to do with your trust, which we suggest doing a lot. We put our businesses in the trust. We put our assets in the trust, all of those things, so that the trust, we decide exactly what happens to our business, our cars, our assets, our houses, all of those things. Every state is going to be different. So let's even say that your family member owns a property in 2 or 3 different states. That means probate has to be opened in 2 or 3 different states, which can cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, and take a ton of time. So you want to make sure you have all of that in a trust. Now, remember, building a secure future for your loved ones doesn't have to be a chore. With right tools and good advice, you can construct an estate plan that stands the test of time. If you're looking for somebody that can help out, you could definitely go down to the comments. We have a list of estate attorneys that we suggest that could be able to help you through this process. So if you have any questions or need anything else, please don't hesitate to let me know. Make sure you join the community, stay a part of it, so we can help you to build a financial future for your family. And if you haven't yet, make sure you join the Real Life REI group, where I want to help non-real estate professionals learn how to build and grow generational wealth to pass on to your family. So would love to see you in there. Thanks so much. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.